Welcome gamers, Hazzador here, and today I'm going to be answering the question, should you buy No Man's Sky? Now this game has a ton of potential, and most of that potential comes in the form of the fact that there's so much exploration to do. I think this world has something ridiculous like 875 billion planets to visit. Just to try and get your head around that is really difficult, and I'm pretty sure we'll never ever discover all the planets at all. So I'm pretty sure you won't get bored of exploring planets on this game. But if that is all you're doing, this game is going to get boring rather quickly, and that is one of my worries about this game. Now, as I've said, the main attraction to this game is exploration, and if you don't like games where there is any exploring, or you don't like games where the main concentration is exploring a certain universe, this game's definitely not going to be for you. There are a few ways of playing this game. For example, you can trade different materials, you can go in air battles, you can explore the world, which of course is the main thing you have to do. But if you don't like exploring, I wouldn't recommend buying this game whatsoever. Although there is a main concentration on exploration, that is not the only thing you can do in this game. There are going to be air battles with your ship against other factions, or in general other people with a ship. You can join factions or go as a rebel and destroy certain ships to steal their materials and stuff, and then you will have a bounty on your head. But I think that this is not going to be the main concentration on this game, and considering Hello Games isn't a massive development team, I think these guys may have put too much concentration on exploring this universe, and it's not going to have that much depth to it. As you go through the world and explore everything, you can get new materials which you can then upgrade your weapons and your ship with. Again, it doesn't look that much complex from what I've seen in the gameplay. It looks like it's just very simple upgrading with your ship. For example, more speed, more turning power, just little minor things like this that don't really change up the gameplay massively. Same thing with your weapons. High rate of fire, it looks a little bit different, it shoots a different type of ammo, different little upgrades like this that just make it different a little bit, but it's not sort of game changing, or in general, I don't think it's going to be worth going out finding materials to get these specific upgrades, because it's not going to help you out massively. And the final thing I want to say about No Man's Sky, which is really good in my opinion, is that there are so many different ways to play this game. As I've said already a lot of times, it is mainly about exploring, and if you want to play this game as an explorer, you can do that. Go out and search as many planets as you can, search every nook and cranny of this universe as much as you can. Of course, if you don't want to do that, you can play as a trader. You can go out to these planets, find specific materials, and then go back to specific hubs or specific planets to trade materials with other vendors and other characters with a little bit of dialogue that you may need, or some credits which you can spend on other areas of the game. Now, of course, if you don't want to do any of these, you can play as a rebel. Go against different factions, cause a bit of chaos, get a bounty on your head, and it sort of becomes this sort of GTA style gameplay where people go out and hunt you because you have a bounty on your head because, well, you're a rebel. You've killed innocent people, and that could bring a very different gameplay mechanic, and I think it's going to be very interesting balancing your gameplay between explorer, a trader, and a rebel, or just another sort of gameplay style that you can come up with. Despite me being quite positive about this game so far, I'm now going to be quite critical because No Man's Sky is gonna fail in my opinion. I don't want it to happen, I hope I'm wrong, but I think it's gonna flop. I think one of the reasons it's gonna flop is because it's procedurally generated worlds, sort of like in Minecraft. If you've played Minecraft, which I'm sure you have, you load up a new world. It doesn't look massively different from the other worlds. Of course, there are higher mountains here, there's a bit of different wildlife, there are different biomes and stuff like this, and that is what No Man's Sky is going to be like. But there's no specific world where you feel, wow, this is massively different from my last world. They are all quite similar to each other, and if you think about it, 875 billion planets is a lot. But a lot of these planets are going to look similar to each other, and it leads to a lot of people thinking that they have visited this planet before and be like, oh, I've been here before, this game's kind of boring, I'm just exploring the same places again and again, what's this all about? The developers have promised a lot that you're going to be able to play this game for months, maybe even years on end, because you're never going to explore the whole world. But if you've sort of explored all the specific biomes, or been through all the environments you can after 30 or 40 hours, people are going to be massively disappointed, and that's what I think is going to happen. The other thing that is quite worrying, and I think they missed out on a big opportunity here, is there there is a lack of story. They have mentioned there are going to be a few protagonists in the game, but there's going to be very few dialogue and no really backstory to what you have to do. The main objective is to get to the center of the universe, but that's about it. Maybe the guys will tell you a bit about the background story of if they've been to the center of the universe or a few things like that, but the game is not concentrated on the story. Back to my point, its main concentration is on exploration, and I feel they've kind of pushed the story to one side. Now, one of the things that I think they should have done, and they really should have done this in my opinion, they've missed out on such a massive opportunity, is there's not really much concentration on multiplayer. It's sort of like Dark Souls, where you can drop messages down for other players to read, for example, new plant species in this planet ahead or something like this, but you can't party up with, let's say, 5 different friends and go out and explore the universe together. No, they've said that in your playthrough you may never even find another player because you're so far apart, and I think a lot of people are going to feel so alone in this world, so isolated from any sort of human life, and that may actually work out well, but I also think it could work out against them because people feel like they're playing in a sort of offline mode. They want to interact with other players and they may not be able to do this because this world is such a massive size. I would have loved to go and explore the world with a few friends, but unfortunately, since there's not a concentration on multiplayer, we're not going to be able to do this, which is a massive disappointment. One of my final critiques about this game, what I think may happen, is the gameplay is just too slow, boring and basic. Yes, you can explore these planets, but you're just going to be walking around them. I don't think you can even sprint in this game. Yes, you can get a jetpack, but you have to buy a few materials and explore the world a little bit to actually get this. And I think a lot of people are going to find themselves in like a walking simulator, drive your airship over here, walk around a planet, explore a few things, get back in your airship, next planet. And it's just going to be this kind of boring gameplay of going place to place with no main objective, no interaction with other players, planets looking very similar for each other, and it's going to be a little bit of a car crash in my opinion. People are expecting a lot, and I don't think these guys are going to deliver a lot. I think it's going to be a decent game, but it's just not going to live up to expectations. Let's hope I'm wrong, but to answer the question, should you buy No Man's Sky, I'd say wait for reviews. But anyway guys, thank you for watching, like, comment and subscribe for more.